It gets so noisy sometimes I can't hear myself think. It's Late Night with David Letterman. Tonight, singer-songwriter Hank Williams Jr., comedian Elayne Boosler, and director John Carpenter. Also, a look at the 1982 World's Fair and celebrities and their auto body repairs. And now, a man who is very bitter, and who can blame him, David Letterman!
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, hi there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Letterman. A couple of things I want to get off my chest right away. First of all, ugly thing happened down on 6th Avenue this afternoon at lunchtime. Perhaps some of you folks were unlucky enough to see it. A guy from Illinois down there bought one of those pretzels from, and he choked to death. The sad thing about it, a group of people stood around, did not do a thing. They just watched this guy go under, and later when police arrived, they said that they thought he was a street mime doing a windmill. The ugly side of the city, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I got another joke here. Should I do the other joke or move on? What do you think? I tell you, I don't know where they get these people on the show, real people. For example, earlier tonight, they had a guy from Minneapolis, what a jerk, actually believes there will not be a Rocky IV. Boy, we got a good show for you folks tonight. A gentleman who's making music history, Hank Williams Jr. will be out here. And a woman who's making comedy history, Ms. Elayne Boosler, will also be on our show. And we have the director of motion pictures that just scare your teeth out, ladies and gentlemen. John Carpenter will be here. Now, we get a lot of mail from folks saying, geez, I'm craving information about celebrities and their auto body repairs. Well, thank God tonight we have a report that will finally answer all of those questions for you. Now, before we get to all of this, you know, the 1982 World's Fair is in Knoxville, Tennessee presently, and it's sure to attract huge crowds of vacationers this summer. Yet early reviews of the multi-million-dollar exposition have been curiously mixed. Some call it a dazzling salute to tomorrow's technology, while others, unbelievably, who have seen it use words like disappointment, fiasco, and dud. Well, to help you decide, we thought we'd go on down there to Knoxville and take a look. So come along with us. We're going to the World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee. 1982, right this way. The World's Fair. Why, here we are now, ladies and gentlemen. The World's Fair, the 1980... Let's go inside, shall we? Well, it's breathtaking. So you want to check in with the Visitor Center and pick up your official World's Fair program. Here it is right there. And now let's take a look at some of these breathtaking exhibits, shall we? Come on in here. That's another busy day here at the World's Fair. This is exciting. This is the exhibit from AT&T. It's Call the Moon. This exhibit allows fairgoers to actually place a call to the moon 240,000 miles away. This is exciting. Let me make sure I do this correctly. Pick up the receiver, the high-quality receiver. 5551423. Boy, it's really bustling in here, isn't it? Calling the moon, ladies and gentlemen, 240,000 miles away. Placing a call to the moon. Actually communicating with the moon some 240,000 miles away. I'll tell you what, we'll... Momentarily disconnected up there on the moon. Now, here's an interesting exhibit. The theme of the fair, of course, is energy. This comes to us from Italy, and in Italy they're combining two appliances to save, in one to save electricity. Here's just one example. The combination pasta maker and wire service machine. You get delicious homemade noodles and have up-to-the-minute UPI bulletins printed right on them. That's about all we could get out of that one. Let's move on now to the Brazilian pavilion. Here is a display honoring Brazil's most significant contribution to modern life. Yes, the soccer riot. All you have to do is turn this switch on here to see a Brazilian... Oh my God, it's Bemba. There's cars on the field, ladies and gentlemen. They're running for their lives. It's the Brazilian exhibit. Now this one... This is interesting. I can't make out the country here. It's Elayne, some kind of something. And I'm not sure what country it is. It seems to be a demonstration of light bulb maintenance. I know that light bulb replacement is important, but I'm not sure why they need 3 people to actually do it. So, let's see. Well, here we are at the exhibition from Holland, and another energy-conscious country is Holland, as we see in this clever invention from the land of windmills. It's the wind-powered stereo. Let's just see how this works. I'll blow in. Yes, ABBA never sounded better. Yeah, let's see. We may come back to this little guy here, all right? And this is a good place to see the entire fairgrounds from here. Now, this is sort of an optical illusion. The tram car ride, which is so popular, when it comes by, is actually 2 or 3 miles away. Oh. It just appears to be right here next. Hi, how are you folks enjoying the fair? Oh, my goodness. I do this for a living. Well, now this actually won an award, this display. This is this year's Energy Saving Award of Merit was bestowed on producer Chuck Barris in recognition of the vast number of TV sets that have been switched off as a result of his programming. His contribution is symbolized by this beautiful memorial, the Eternally Silent TV. It's awe-inspiring. Now, this brings us to the Canadian display, Canada, Reflection of Tomorrow, Today. And it says you can see your own face. You kind of get the feeling Canada kind of slapped this together at the last minute. You can actually see your own face here on this map of Canada.
Hey, come on, buddy. Other people want to take a look at themselves.
Thank you very much. Obviously a Canadian. Now, this is my favorite exhibition here at the World's Fair. This is actually a ride. This is the Hall of Toast. And it's sponsored by the state of Utah, which provides over 60% of the world's toast. I'm going to get in and enjoy this. The Hall of Toast, ladies and gentlemen. This will be exciting and relaxing after your busy day of touring the fair.
Welcome to the Hall of Toast. Here we have the 1 slice, which became obsolete with the invention of the 2 slice. But man was restless, so he came up with the 4 slice. By 1975, 8-slice toasters were everywhere. But what does the future hold for toast technology? Perhaps we shall see the 1,500-slice toaster, allowing whole communities to make toast at the same time. Please step off the ride and exit to your right.
Well, that was dazzling and breathtaking. I'll step off the ride here. We're going to pause for commercials. We'll be right back with Hank Williams, Jr. Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen. Later on in this program, we'll have, of course, Elayne Boosler, also a film director, John Carpenter, and a report on celebrities and their auto body repairs. So, as always, phone the neighbors and wake the kids. My next guest currently has 8 albums on the Billboard country charts, unheard of. He's one of the hottest recording artists in the business and is quickly living up to his legendary namesake. His latest album, I have a copy of it right here, is entitled Hank Williams Jr. High Notes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hank Williams Jr. Thank you very much for being here. Now, this let's just get some of this taken care of. 8 albums on the country charts. Has that not been done before? Now, how? I see.
Yes.
Over what period of time did you record these things and produce them and so forth?
Let's see, we recorded the first one in 77. This is 82. It's still on there.
Yeah. Now, I'm guessing that there's a pretty good dough in this, huh?
Fantastic, Dave.
Yeah. Things weren't always fantastic for you, though, were they?
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
Hank Williams Jr., that name gets you started real good in some ways, and it also closes the door in some other ways.
Now, we're talking how many years ago did you find that it was a start and also a hindrance?
I played my first show when I was 8 years old, recording for MGM at 14. And it was fun to be, for the little boy, you know, to be doing Hank Williams, but it was hell for the man. So, right about 20 and 21, that's
now, for people who may not know what you're talking about, when your dad died, who was a legendary musician, and people loved him so that they, actually, you were just called upon to kind of fill in, right?
Yeah, well.
At 8 years old.
You know, they wanted any part of him they could get back, and I didn't have music on my mind very much. I'd go out and do these shows. I wasn't too serious about it at 8. 14, 16, you know, did the MGM movie Your Cheating Heart. That was a gold album. And then after some marriages and divorces and things like that, then it got serious, you know. I started writing some of my own things.
Now, whose idea was it to put you out there on stage and start, you were essentially doing your dad's act, right?
Oh, it was my idea, without a doubt. My mother, you know, I was on the road with her, but I couldn't wait to do it. I've got my 9-year-old boy on this tour. He can't wait. But I had a manager later on where it was exploited to the point of, like, Daddy's original band and make records with his voice over mine, and it got a little out of hand there. Yeah.
Do you have any resentment, or did you have any resentment at the time for your father's success when you were doing that?
Oh, no, not back then. You know, I had him on a pedestal. And then I've got a song called Family Tradition. You know, if I get stoned and sing all night long, that's a family tradition. And I would ask Ernest Tubb, what about it, Ernest? Well, yes, son, that's the way it was, yeah. And I started getting the truth from some of these guys, and that's when it all started for us.
You weren't always really well received when you were doing this, were you?
No. You start with Sweet Home Alabama at volume 20, you know, and they came to hear You're Cheating Hard, and there's 1,000 there, and 800 left, and 200 stayed. You know?
Yeah, but I'm talking about even when you were doing your dad's act, that didn't satisfy people, did it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did then. Real good.
Yeah, but didn't you suffer some abuse?
Didn't satisfy this person.
Yeah.
Or they'd say, well, sing this song. And I said, well, I don't know that. Well, you little so-and-so your daddy would have.
Oh, I see.
So I said, well, what would Daddy have said? He would have said, kiss my butt. So that's where we took it from there.
So at how were you able to finally shed this and become your own performer?
Writing songs and doing shows and showing off. Opening for some people like Marshall Tucker Band, the Allman Brothers, Waylon Jennings, to another audience. That's what helped me with Johnny Cash, all my old rowdy friends.
Tell me about Falling Off a Mountain.
Well, we cut an album called Hank Jr. and Friends, Charlie Daniels, Toy Caldwell, and Chuck Leavell. That's the Marshall Tucker Band and the Allman Brothers, some of the hottest groups back then in '75. Things were opened up. We're going to start doing some shows. We were descending from about 10,800 feet on the Montana-Idaho border.
Now, not you and the whole band?
No, just me and a rancher and his son. And I went down this mountainside 470 or 80 feet, and from the back of the head and between the eyes, and this is all plastic, this is plastic, no gums, and all of this, and 8 operations. And I thought singing is over, and never look at any ladies again. And really thought it was all over.
How long ago was all of that?
75.
Good heavens. Well, let's dispense with the funny stuff. We'll come back and talk about some real serious things with Hank Williams Jr. after you take a look at this. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. Hank Williams Jr. is minutes, seconds away from singing for us. Is this song on the album, sir?
No, this is from an album before this one.
Okay, and now, ladies and gentlemen, to sing a song from the album before this one, entitled "A Country Boy Can Survive," Hank Williams Jr.
Preacher man says it's the end of time. Mississippi River is a-going dry. Interest is up and the stock market's down, and you only get mugged if you go downtown. I live out in the woods, you see. It's my woman, my kids, and dogs and me. I got a shotgun, a rifle, and a four-wheel drive. Country boy can survive. Country boy can survive. I can plow a field all day long, catch catfish from dusk till dawn. Make our own whiskey and our own smoke too. There ain't too many things these boys and girls can't do. We grow big old tomatoes, make a homemade wine, and a country boy can survive. Country folks will survive. 'Cause you can't stop us out and you can't make us run with him, old boy, right on the shotgun. We say grace, we say ma'am. If you ain't into that, we don't give a damn. We came from the West Virginia coal mines, the Rocky Mountains, and the Montana skies. We can skin a buck, run a trot line. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. I had a good friend in New York City. Never called me Bo Cephas, called me Hillbilly. My grandpa taught me how to live off the land, and his taught him to be a businessman. He used to send me pictures of the Broadway nights, and I'd send him some homemade wine. But he was killed by a dude with a switchblade knife. For $43, my friend lost his life. I'd love to spit some beach nut in that dude's eyes and shoot him with my old 45, 'cause a country boy can survive. Country boy can survive. Have some training. Oh, you can't stop us out and you can't make us run with them old boys. Have some training with some guns. We say grace, we say ma'am.
you ain't into that, we don't give a damn. We're from North California and South Alabama, little towns all over this land. We can skin a buck, run a trot line, country boy can survive. Country girl gets me by, country folks can survive, country boy will survive.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hank. Hank Williams Jr., ladies and gentlemen. We're going to pause here for a commercial. We'll be right back to take a look at celebrities and their auto body repairs. Welcome back to the show. What a program we have slapped together for you folks tonight. Later, comedian Elayne Boosler will be here. Also, film director John Carpenter will be here. Directed Halloween 2, was it? Also, he did Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter right after that. You know, regular viewers of this show have gradually learned a lot about their favorite celebrities. I know I have. In the past, we've reported on celebrities and their dry cleaning, on their footwear, on their typewriters and office machines. Tonight, in a continuing attempt to obtain more exclusive celebrity data, we file a report on one of today's most talked about topics, celebrities and their auto body repairs. Well, here we are at Superior Auto Body at the intersection of 60th and West End. This is the owner, Frank Dianella. And Frank, what can you tell us about celebrities and their auto body repairs? Let's, I guess, just start with this gentleman here, Mr. Frank Sinatra. What kind of work has he had done here?
Mr. Frank Sinatra, I've never met in person. I have corresponded by mail, and I have received what photographs and communications through the mail from his office.
You've never actually worked on Frank's car?
As far as I know, no.
Okay, who else do we have here? Let's go all the way over here. Oh, it's Connie Stevens now. What kind of repair work have you done for Connie?
My wife and I, my family, met Connie Stevens when we had gone to the Flamingo Hotel in 1972. She was gracious enough to give us an audience to my wife and myself.
So Connie Stevens gave you an audience?
Right.
You never done any body work for her?
As far as I know, no.
Okay. How about funny man Jack Carter here?
Yes, I repaired Jack Carter's car many years back. When he owned the 1957 T-Bird. That was the first original T-Bird with the removable hard top on it. It was, as a matter of fact, it was called a Peacock Blue.
What kind of trouble did he get the car into?
Well, he had some slight damage on the front fender and scratches around the car.
I see Jack Carter has signed it, Hey Frank, watch my bird.
Right. This applies to his Thunderbird and his great sense of humor, which has made him a top comedian throughout the years. So.
Okay, and now let's write down here, Johnny Carson. What kind of auto body work did you do for Johnny?
I had sent a letter to Johnny Carson with a little bit of a note and a poem on it requesting an autographed picture from him. This was my second request. And in order to do that, I had sent in 3 photographs of the Zsa Zsa Gabor, Eva Gabor, and Magda Gabor to Johnny Carson when they were very young, in the age of 19 or so. And it was very difficult to tell them apart. And I composed a bit of a poem. And it went this way, if I can recall. What's fair is fair, you can tell by their hair. Please tell me who's who or send a photo of you. This is my third request. I consider it my best. If you do not comply, I'll consider it goodbye.
And of course, he sent you the photo.
Right, right.
You have a wonderful assortment of celebrity photos here, and I notice around the corner, back over there on one of those drain pipes, you have a photo. Do you know who that is back there?
Offhand, which one would that be, sir?
It's around here in the corner, actually.
Oh, yes, Cliff Gorman. We fixed Cliff Gorman's car just a short while ago. Cliff was here. He's a very nice fellow, very regular.
Okay, Frank, enjoyable talking with you. Thank you. Yes, the wonderful world of celebrities and their auto bodies. We'll be right back with comedian Elayne Boosler. Hi there. My next guest is a very funny woman who is making her second appearance on this program. She will be appearing at Resorts International in Atlantic City later this month. We have bus information in the lobby. She will also be at the Bottom Line right here in New York City this weekend. Please welcome a gifted stand-up comedian, Elayne Boosler.
Thank you for playing Pac-Man Fever for me. Are they wonderful? You can't walk in the city without seeing Pac-Man everywhere. People are addicted to this game, and I wanted to know why, because it's so interesting to me. I realized a lot of Jewish people like Pac-Man, and I realized that Pac-Man is the history of the Jewish people. Being chased while eating. And doesn't it kind of sound like your mom? I'm in a very strange mood. I'm having a birthday coming up, and it's hard. I don't want to get that much older, but I mean, not, gradually be okay. But it's hard. I'm not as wild as I used to be. I don't just stay out randomly overnight anymore. I have to think about it now. I ask myself questions first. I say, would I be spending the night in this guy's apartment if I knew that I had Haagen-Dazs home in the freezer? Up someplace else anymore. I don't like waking up 15 miles from my own toothbrush, When you're sleeping, eye makeup, your eyes heal shut overnight. I wake up, one side of my hair is completely stuck down to my cheek, the other side's looking for the space shuttle. Where did it go? The guy looks great. It's his apartment. He's in the kitchen making coffee there. You stumble in. You have to put on your clothes from Saturday night. Nice V-neck black dress, black high heels. It's now Sunday morning. You look like the whore of Babylon. It's real easy to put on your stockings from the night before. Here's the toe, here's the heel, here's the knee. Stumble into the kitchen, you look like a shopping bag woman. Guys are so wonderful, they still think you look wonderful. Hey, what do you want for breakfast? Eggs, coffee, toast? Do you have any Trident? Oh, guys are so sweet, they think you look great. They're ready to go out to the beach like that. Come on, let's drink this coffee and go out to the beach. I want to go home and burn these clothes. It's not any more fun having a guy stay at your apartment because I don't want to see him wake up with his hair down and one. I think people would feel much better if 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning a helicopter flew low over the city and you heard, attention, attention, back to your own little beds now. Oh, well, I'm sorry you have to go. Oh, that's okay. I have some Haagen-Dazs home in the freezer. I don't know. I think, I'm getting a little older. I might like to live with someone. I'm hesitant. I don't know if I can really be myself living with someone because, a guy sees you stay in bed for 3 weeks. He thinks something's wrong. I love to sleep. Oh, my God. My theory is if you don't have the money, why get up? So nice to be in that bed, and I feel guilty because you're supposed to live each day as if it were your last, and I live each day as if the day before it had been my last. You read in the paper, sometimes people die for a couple of minutes and the doctors bring them back. I have this fantasy, I'll die and the doctors will be bringing me back and I'll open my eyes and say, 5 more minutes. It's nice in that bed. You ever get into bed with 5 new magazines and a pound cake? Magazines say September, it's only August. You got your whole life ahead of you. I get a little hungry at night. When you live by yourself, for some reason, you like to eat in the middle of the night. I don't know what it is, boy, but I don't smoke pot because when you live alone, you eat like that anyway. 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever you find is okay. Oh, time for one of my tuna fish and Cocoa Puffs casserole. I eat things in the middle of the night I would not eat at noon at gunpoint. Sit it down with a nice big bowl of cereal and water. You ever just open a jar of mustard? I don't want you to think I'm some weird hermit or something. I actually do have someone. In fact, tonight's our anniversary. 2 years. 2 years. Oh, thank you. It's my first really adult, mature relationship. Happy anniversary, Bunny Froggy Nose. 2 years. That's a silver anniversary in California. It's nice. It's not, we're not married. We're not living together. It's kind of 2 years of, look, I'm divorced. I can't make a commitment. I don't want you to see other people. And if you do, I don't want to know about it, okay? That's what it is. It's nice. And I noticed that the first year passion is so wonderful and passionate, and the second year it kind of weakens a little bit. How do you keep it exciting? I'd like to know. I don't know. You read, they say, tell your lover what you want. Have you ever tried that? They don't take it well. Honey, why don't you put on a monkey costume? What? Nothing. Tell your lover what you want. How do you tell him you want somebody else just for one night? Oh, but honey, what does the Hell's Angel have to do with what we have? Well, I'm so glad I could make you laugh here tonight, and I would just like to say that I really don't agree with stars and celebrities using their stature for political issues or anything. But since I'm not really a star or a celebrity, I would like to say that we love you, Florida and North Carolina and Illinois and Oklahoma. Please ratify the ERA, okay? Thank you very much.
The monkey suit, huh? Just a joke. You don't own a monkey suit, do you?
No, I don't.
Any of that ever come up? A monkey suit? Hell's Angels?
No, I'm a pretty dull person.
Nah, you're an exciting person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But David, that's coming from you. I think I'm a pretty dull person. I'm kidding. That's very nice.
Now, let me, you know Paul, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I like to introduce folks when they come out. Tell me about the... Now, you said 2 years, sort of this nebulous relationship?
No, it's not nebulous. It's very defined. We're both on eggshells for 2 years, and I take it slow. It's real nice and slow.
Any chance you'll be getting married, do you think?
Well, it's a very warm, loving, open relationship, and we give each other a lot of space. You know, I'm here, and this is Wednesday. It's his hooker night. I don't know.
You know Paul, don't you?
I do know Paul.
Yeah. Now you're just teasing. Now what would 2 years and a nice enough guy? I met him. Seemed like a decent sort.
Oh, you did meet him? Yes. Yeah. He's cute. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Marriage scares me because it's really the only thing, the only ceremony in our country that you need witnesses for, and I think it's because everybody, the minute it happens, they start denying it. You know? All right, bring those two in. Or you saw it? Yes.
And you're going to be at the bottom line.
Yeah,
now that's a rock and roll club. You get beat up, huh?
I hope so, because the monkey suit's getting dull. No, it's a rock and roll club, but I'll be with Tom Paxton, so maybe he can kind of catch whatever's thrown at us. And it's a nice place. It's in the Village, and I remember, you know, I'm excited to be there because years ago when I was starting, I walked in, and you know, there weren't that many women working comedy then, and I kind of went into the owner, Alan Pepper, and I said, I'd really like to work your club. And he said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a comedian. And he said, what are you, a comedian?
Alan Pepper, okay. I'll tell you what, we're going to pause for a commercial. I'm going to introduce Elayne to Paul, and then we'll bring out director John Carpenter later. Thank you very much. My next guest directed a film called Halloween that became the most successful independent production in motion picture history. His latest film, about to open, is called The Thing. Please welcome John Carpenter. Hello, John. How are you? I'm good. Fine. Have a seat if you want, sir. You know, civilians all the time hear claims about motion pictures that made more money, did more money in one weekend, did more money in a half an hour. But this one, the most successful independent production in history. Give us an idea what that means.
The movie cost $300,000 to make, and it made $70 million.
$300,000 to make.
Yeah.
You can pretty much do that in your basement. $300,000 is a
pretty much,
cheap,
yeah.
cheap film,
Cheap
right?
cheap movie.
And $70 million?
Worldwide to date, yeah.
Good heavens. Now, do you get a lot of that?
No, not a lot of it. No, a little bit of it.
Yeah. You prefer doing an independent film, I would guess, huh?
Well, I just started making films with big studios, with Universal, and I kind of like it. It's fun.
Yeah, they treating you well? Because
Very well.
I read that you mentioned that sometimes a motion picture company, or a big one, would be kind of not the most fun to work with.
I was worried when I went in because I thought maybe they'd take away control of the movie from me. I think that's what every director wants, is control of his film. They were wonderful.
And so far things are going well.
Oh, real well.
Now The Thing, which we're going to see some footage of, this is pretty bizarre stuff here.
Pretty strange.
Now, is this, it's different from Halloween and Halloween 2, huh?
Yes, The Thing is about, actually about a monster from outer space. And we tried to make the king of the monster movies. And Rob Bottin did the special effects. And I think you're going to see a scene from that. And,
all right.
It'll be self-explanatory.
This is pretty scary, huh?
Yeah, I guess
all right.
so.
And it's called The Thing, and we'll see a minute and a few seconds of that. Watch the monitors here. So then it's the story of a boy and his dog.
That's right.
My, now that, wow. Now, first of all, you could hear the audience kind of oohing and eyeing. You kind of, you know a film is good by the way, the noises the audience makes, don't
Pretty
you?
much. In this kind of film, if the audience is oohing and eyeing, I know I'm all right.
Mm-hmm. Do you, when you make, for instance, when this film was completed, did you just put it in theaters, or do you screen it and test the reaction of the audience?
Part of making a film for me is when I finish my first cut, I show it to an audience and see their reaction. I'll go back and change it and then show it again.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience is a big part of the film.
What is the reaction you're after in this particular film?
Well, it's much the same as getting on a roller coaster. There's a big build-up to the first time you go over the edge, and when you do, there's no stopping it.
Yeah. Now, I noticed Paul looked away and people were gasping. That's a favorable response as far as you're concerned?
Honestly, in this kind of film, you're dealing with something that the whole audience knows isn't real at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there's no such thing as a monster from outer space. At least we haven't seen one in the paper. And I want the audience to believe it.
Yeah.
When they see that, say, oh, my Lord, look at that. That's real.
Yeah. Now, do you have children?
No.
Now, assume you did, maybe an 8-year-old child. Would you send your 8-year-old child to see this film?
I would evaluate my 8-year-old, and I would ask myself, is the 8-year-old impressionable? And could they realize this is a fantasy film? It's really not very harmful, but it's frightening.
Yeah.
And if I thought so, sure. If I was an 8-year-old kid, I'd want to see this movie immediately.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
No matter what my parents said, I'd go right out and see it.
I would imagine kids will be lining up around the equator to see this one. This is now, how do you do that stuff when you saw the all of those gruesome things? What exactly were we looking at? Was it animation? Was it...
That's mechanical special effects makeup. And basically those are objects that are built and operated like puppets with hydraulics and people's hands moving, things like this, and all done on camera.
Yeah, and so what we were looking at actually did take place. And do you, now, is it we had a gentleman on, John Dykstra, a couple of weeks ago, and he said that the problem with doing special effects of any kind is once you've done them in a film, people get to be blasé about them.
That's right.
So you have to keep topping yourself. Is this the first time ever for some of these effects?
I think so. I don't think you'll ever see effects like this in a movie. I know there hasn't been a monster movie like this, where the monster constantly changes form. It never looks like any one thing. It's constantly in motion. And it's pretty hard to pull off, but I think we've done all right.
You worked with Kurt Russell in this film. You worked with him before, and this is he's had an interesting career going from, I guess he was with the Disney organization as a kid, or a younger person than he is now.
He did a lot of Disney films in the 60s, and I met him on Elvis. We did a TV movie, and he played Elvis Presley, and he walked in, and he didn't look like Elvis Presley. I thought, well, if this guy can do it, hell, I can do it too. And we worked together on Escape from New York and finally The Thing, and I think he's a brilliant actor, and he's also a real close friend.
Yeah. People talk about you and compare you to Hitchcock. Is that a legitimate comparison in your
Well, I'm very flattered by that. I really am, I think, more influenced by a director, Howard Hawks. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He did the first version of The Thing from Another World. And I admire his work a lot.
Now, The Thing itself, what are we talking about here? What exactly is The Thing?
Well, The Thing is an alien organism that has been buried in the ice in Antarctica for 100,000 years. And what it does is imitate other life forms perfectly. So that, for instance, in the audience here, the problem might be that several of them, or all of them, could be the thing.
Yeah. I've had that feeling occasionally. But, what are we doing? We're pausing here. I guess we'll come back unless something catastrophic takes place here in the studio. We'll be right back. Unplug the power here. Mr. John Carpenter, thank you very much. Good luck to you on The Thing. I have a hunch it will do quite well. Also, my thanks to Hank Williams Jr. and Elayne Boosler, our announcer, Mr. Bill Windle, Paul Schaefer, and the band. Ladies and gentlemen, you, the studio audience. Tomorrow night, Allen Ginsberg will be here. Sports Specials producer Bud Greenspan will have viewer mail, plus the Bird Lady of Queens, Arlene Thomas, and Do's and Don'ts with Frank and Fred. Good night.
This has been a Melman production.